My name is Brian and I'm the man. All right, quick songs like the hand in my hand. Smart girls talk about smart girls.
Hey everyone, my name is Jake, and welcome to the 36th episode of Good Timin. As always on this podcast, we're going to be talking all about one of our favorite bands, the Beach Boys. And today we have a pretty fun show in store for you all, as we're going to be doing another one of our album draft episodes, where we each nominate songs to make up our own sort of fantasy compilation album. However, what's different about this draft is that while we usually select the best songs to represent different periods of the band's history, today we're going to be nominating the worst of the worst from the group's large catalog of music. So of course, the Beach Boys have recorded a lot of amazing songs and albums over their career, but they've also put out some not so great material over the course of that time. So today we're going to be talking about some of those songs that we personally don't care for from the group's catalog. So joining me today, we have our usual crew of Riley and Matt. So as always, I'm happy to have you guys here, and I'm curious to hear which songs you both nominate for the Dogshit album, which is what we're calling this. So before we begin, Riley, do you want to go over the rules for our album draft and what kind of material is eligible for the album?
So, per usual, we're gonna aim for 24 songs. Um, However, I've kind of opened the floor to any audible content. So, like anything you can hear that the Beach Boys have, not even released, just done in general. So, like radio interviews, adverts, outtakes, whatever. Anything you could possibly think of that is audible by the Beach Boys is up for, I guess, for grabs or that we can nominate. If we don't know something, I'm probably not going to vote for it. But any audible content's available, and if it's like maybe I'd say less than a minute, maybe like 45 seconds, it won't count as a track. It'll count more as like an interlude. But anything is up for grabs. Anything can be nominated. It kind of opened up a little can of worms with that one, but good time, good timing.
All right, so who wants to kick us off here with
Oh,
our
I
first
gotta do this.
selection for the Dogshit album?
I would like to nominate the introduction from the Beach Boys present NASCAR, the Beach Boys NASCAR thing. I don't even
Oh
know what it's
God.
called, but it's like Mike Love, Mike
Salute,
Love and Bruce Johnson of the Beach Boys.
Is that
And
like Bruce Johnston, NASCAR lover
Yep,
thing?
beach
yeah,
lover,
yeah. Oh shit, no, Jake, you know it. You know the line. Say it.
beach lover, NASCAR lover, and I think it's like the fuel of NASCAR, 76 or something.
It's like, I think it's a hell of a way to just like Beach Boys always had great album openers, and I feel like this is quite a way to introduce what is going to be the absolute dumpster fire that is this thing. So, especially when you don't have Brian, no Carl, no Dennis on this one. You have David Marks is apparently a part of that album, but
Apparently.
not even on the intro. So it's just Bruce and Mike.
Supposedly Bruce is barely even involved in it too. From what I've read, it's mostly a Mike and who's is it Terry? I forget who he worked with on this, but it's definitely
I don't
like
even think it's Terry Melcher. I think it's like what? It's got to be like Dean Torrance.
oh, I know, Adrian Baker.
There, that's so yeah. See, that's how you know it's shit.
Yeah.
Well, no, like I don't think Adrian Baker's a non-talented musician. I just think that like if he's producing something, I mean,
Yeah, it definitely gets a yes from me because I think this is the worst of Mike Love selling out. This is like the bottom of the barrel epitome of like Mike Love selling out the legacy and just like wringing the name through the mud. So yes, absolutely yes for me, big time.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's like a fitting way to open this kind of album, this dog shit album. I feel like that's pretty much represents that album. It's a dog shit opener to a dog shit album, and uh, really, we can nominate pretty much any track from that album. I feel like maybe one of us will. I think of like I love the way that opens that spoken word part with Mike transitions into a horrible re-recording of "I Get Around." And yeah, there's some other dreadful covers on there. The "Don't Worry Baby" has like horrific drums on it. There's a couple of cool
like samples, good vibrations too. I think
it
it's
does.
like,
At the very end of the spoken word part, he's like, I hope this album brings you as many good vibrations as a checkered flag at Daytona Beach. And then good vibrations sample, and then round, round, get round. Yeah, so it's rough, but it's a great way to open this sort of album. So it's a yes from me as well.
I live an hour from Daytona Beach and I've never even been to that speedway.
are we using it as a song or is that just the introduction?
I just put it right now as the intro, but we
All
can
right, good because I wanna fill this thing up with shit.
Okay. Can I go next?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm gonna go with an early one. I think everybody knows how much I love this song, 10 Little Indians. Do I have to go into more detail? The terrible lyrics, the offensive. The only good thing about it is it's mercifully short. And why Capital ever thought that this was single potential is totally beyond me.
Yep, I couldn't agree more. It's definitely the low light of that first album. You know, the first album has some charming moments, some fun little songs. But yeah, that one is just horribly outdated, very racist lyrics. Again, like you mentioned, Matt, the ooh, very offensive today and then. And yeah, it's just an embarrassing song and an embarrassing choice for a single as well. So yeah, definitely one of the lowlights of the Beach Boys' career for sure.
Yes,
Yes.
for you, ready? Okay.
Absolutely.
There we go.
I mean, like, Matt, we go straight out of the Mike Love intro and we go straight into like that's the most fitting thing ever. Like,
Yeah.
I
This
think
is
we
gonna
I
this is
think
gonna
they
be fun
should
to
have
listen
done
to.
though, like if we were doing like a fantasy like thing, imagine like a Summer in Paradise re-recording of 10 Little Indians.
Oh, good God.
A summer in paradise recording of Denny's drums.
Well, it would just be 80s drums. It would just be like,
It would be drenched in so much reverb.
Pure mutilation, dude.
all right, so am I next here?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go with one that we just talked about recently. I think last week, "Pom Pom Playgirl" from Shutdown Volume 2. I've never cared for this song. I think it's a very weak recording. I think it's one of the weaker songs in the Beach Boys catalog. I wouldn't say it's like dreadfully bad. Like it's not as horrible as some of the other stuff I'm sure we're going to be nominating onto this album, but I do think it's a low light of their career and a low light of that album. I think it's cool that Carl sings it, but other than that, I think it's a very weak song. I think it's kind of lazy too, like the little hand clap section. I hate the ending too, with the wave those pom poms all around. Just the lyrics overall are just very cringy and stupid. So I'm gonna nominate that one. I think it's a way to represent another kind of earlier recording from the band. So I'm nominating that.
Well, it wasn't on my list. I feel like the Beach Boys have. See, this song is dreadfully boring. I don't know if it's truly like bad. That's the hard part. Like, do we want to make it like is boring bad, or does it have to be like make my ears bleed?
I
Well,
mean,
Matt, why don't you vote? Why don't you
yeah,
vote?
you
And I'll
go
come
ahead, Matt.
back.
Go ahead.
okay. So thinking about it now, I definitely agree that it's very lazily written, and I also feel I don't know who said it last week, but this was like I think it was you, right? It said it was like such a big step back from what Usher and Brian had been doing. I'm gonna vote yes. But I will say that if we want to kick something off, this would be my like later on. This would be like one of my first choices.
Yeah,
I
But I will
like how
vote
we're like deciding to kick off songs.
just because like I don't know how bad this is gonna get. So I'm just saying like because
Exactly.
I kind of agree with you, Riley. Like it's not great, but like do I think it's like the absolute worst thing they ever recorded in the catalog? No, there's far worse. But I'll give you a yeah. I'll give it a yes for
All
now.
right. Yeah, that's how you know that this band put out some crap and we're talking about kicking songs off already.
This band is like the highest highs of pop rock music and the lowest lows. It's like you get the whole spectrum with this band.
All right, Riley.
I'm just gonna say fuck it. Let's make this funny. Let's skip ahead a little bit. And I say a little bit, I mean a lot of it. I'm gonna nominate Lady Liberty.
Fuck that song.
It's
Yes.
See, the thing is, Lady Linda, incredible song, one of Ron Altbeck's greatest contributions to the band, especially with Al too.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a lot of potential for this song, but it feels like it was thrown together in like 2 minutes lyric wise, and it's like you rearranged the arrangement, which was already perfect, and then on top of that, like the cadence of the words is off rhythm with the song. Like the singing is not on the same tempo as the music. That's not only does that like make my ears bleed, it makes my mind bleed, dude. It hurts to listen to because I'm like trying to tap my foot along to like two different rhythms. It's just oh my God, it's a dumpster fire. What sucks is I do feel like it could have been a good song, but
Yeah. I mean, I love Lady Linda too, but this is just such a crap rewrite, so it gets a yes from me.
Yeah, this is like it's double yes. I think this is a horrible re-recording of Lady Linda, which again is another one of my favorite Al compositions. I know Ron Altbeck played a big role in writing it too. But yeah, they pretty much massacred the song. It's just terrible. You have these really cheesy ass patriotic lyrics, and like Riley said, it just feels like it was just thrown together. Like they just wrote down the first thing that came to their head. Like, okay, we need to write a patriotic version of this song. And yeah, like it doesn't sync up with the music. Like Al, like let it shine for all humanity. Like it just it's just so cringy. It's like a Lady Linda, but it's about the Statue of Liberty. Like
It's very like jingoistic too.
Yeah, it is. And then and the funny thing is normally like when Carl's on something, it can make it better. In this case, I actually am not that crazy about Carl's vocals on this, and he couldn't even save it really. I can understand why, I know like by this point when this song came out, like Al had I believe split up with his wife Linda. So I can understand like why you wouldn't want to bring that song back and maybe like re-record another version of it. But like this was not the way to do it. It just feels really rushed, and yeah, I think it's a piece of crap. So I despise it. I think it's
Dude,
awful.
just change the name to something else. That's all you have to do.
Right, just making another lady, not Lady Liberty though.
All right, my turn. So we're gonna kind of jumping around timelines. It's festive. It's about that time. Child of Winter.
No, fuck you.
Where do we start with that? First of all, the terrible Grinch voice that Brian's trying to pull off. I don't know what the hell that is. The Christmas time and the snow covers all. Then, like, I think Jake, you said the best where it's like, "Here comes Santa Claus." They just start singing that as like a counter melody. It just doesn't make any sense. And I think it's just so unintentionally hilarious that I think it has to be on there. I just think
I think it's so unintentionally hilarious. Like it's such a clusterfuck of a Christmas song, but I enjoy it. So fuck, I'm not voting for it.
No, okay. What about you, Jake?
Well, you know what I'm voting. I'm voting yes. I can see, listen, Riley, I can see your perspective too. Like it is a clusterfuck, and that's part of what makes it so entertaining. It's like everything just feels like it's completely out of nowhere, from like the stupid Grinch voice by Brian, the stupid "Here comes Santa Claus." It's like one can't decide what it wants to be. It's like at the beginning, it's like some novelty little Christmas song, and then it just turns into this like mess. And I don't know. I just think it's bad.
It's like five different ideas.
It's a pocket
together.
Symphony Christmas song,
not done well. And also, too, it was released super damn late. There's another thing, adding insult to injury. It was released so damn late. Like, by the time it came out, like, Christmas was, like, just around the corner, and it was never going to get any airplay.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say, too. It's like they almost knew this thing was going to be a failure regardless. So they're like, let's just put it out too late. So it just kind of, we just sweep it under the rug and just forget about it. So, yeah, I think it's embarrassing. And they had so much good unreleased material around this time. They could have, just released. And instead, they're like, let's put together this really stupid Christmas song, So,
and wasn't the B-side Susie Cincinnati yet again? Like how long was
you had like that? Yeah, they just kept releasing that song, and yeah, they tacked this one on. So yeah, I think it's not good, but I can see the charm in it. But I am going to vote yes on it because it is hilariously stupid. So.
It is hilariously stupid. I think there's
how unhinged I am, so I love that thing.
I mean, I find I definitely see the appeal in it, but it's just bad.
It's a pocket symphony Christmas song. It's just see, it reminds me of Smile with all its different like parts. With all its different parts and arrangements and the way it's pieced together.
I think we found the cold open.
Matt, that one line, I always hear it too. A Mickey Mouse snowman.
It sounds like a Mickey Mouse snowball. That's what I thought for years it said. And like I didn't even question it because there's so many bad lyrics in this group's catalog that like I didn't even question it. I'm just like, okay.
All right, so let's do another one. We're still doing another one from Shutdown here, but I know Matt's gonna vote yes on it. Louie Louie.
God, yeah.
Terrible cover. Just completely just disappointing when you listen to the original version by the Kingsmen. Pretty much all the charm out of that version is just sucked out. Really, it just feels like filler. It's one of those covers that just feels like it was tacked on to fill up space, and you could say that for quite a few of the tracks on Shutdown. And yeah, I just think it's a really disappointing cover. And I think, like one of you guys said, the Beach Boys could have done this song really well, I think. So the fact it came out this lackluster is just really disappointing. So I'm voting Louie Louie from Shutdown Volume 2.
Yeah, you know what I called it last week? A limp you-know-what cover. So yeah, yes for me.
Yeah, dude, like, and to expand on that, like I know you guys aren't, I know Jake's not the biggest fan of Be True to Your School, but like, even if it had that energy of Be True to Your School, it could have been good.
Yeah.
But, like, add some saxophones in there. Why not? Like,
yeah, especially if it's Mike.
Like I said, if they had recorded this Surf and Safari style, I think it would have actually been pretty solid. But the problem was, I think they tried to make it almost too polished. And this is a song that I think works best if it's kind of raucous and rough and dirty. It's like
the Stooges version. The Stooges version absolutely kicks ass. And I think it's funny because I feel like this is one of the greatest hits of the Beach Boys, volume like 3 or whatever.
Volume 1.
Oh my God, what the fuck?
Yeah, not even volume 3. Like the first one they put out, Capitol put out after Pet Sounds didn't sell what they wanted, right? Now you see where I get so frustrated.
Now it's on the Dogshit album, so here we go, Louie Louie.
We're course correcting here.
Yeah, now it's on the album it belongs on, right?
Louie. All right. Because I want to jump around. I want to make this fun. Let me nominate. endless harmony from keeping the summer alive. But hear me out. Just the bombs bursting in air part. Just like that back half of the song.
Oh God.
Yeah, I think it's so fucking ridiculous. Like that's an interlude. Like I would want it to be like a 30-second interlude coming after a random song.
So
Where
this
it's just
doesn't count as like a song. This doesn't count as like a song then.
right.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I'll give it a yes because like that's the worst part of the song. It's the worst part of the song. I think the song is really pretty. A lot of it is, but it's the worst part of the song. So as long as we're counting as an interlude and doesn't count as like an actual track, sure. I'll give it a yes.
Right.
Then I might pick something too to do for that.
I mean, lyrically, it's stupid as hell, but like, I kind of like it, and I also think the ending part, like with Bruce's falsetto and stuff, is really haunting, which Nate said as well. That's my favorite part of the song, the way that ends. So, that part I almost feel like is too good, but like the part before it, I can understand. Yeah, like the and we sing "God Bless America." It's a
I
line.
think Riley's just saying just that part.
Well, yeah,
So
what
like,
if we do that at the very end? Like that closes the album and it says, and we
so like
God.
on Sergeant
yeah,
Pepper's,
if we're gonna include it, we do have to include the full thing because it ends with Bruce's falsetto. So that's fine. If we put it at the end of the album, I think it'll be fine. Yeah.
and I wrote interlude on the side, so this does not count as a song.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm fine with it if we're gonna put it at the end of the album. Yes.
I don't know if this is gonna get votes, and I'm nominating this more on principle. Never Learn Not to Love, strictly for the Manson connection. I actually don't mind the song, but I think the fact that this band got entangled with one of the most notorious cult leaders slash masterminds behind like that murder is kind of a black mark in the history. And I think, it's something that's like, doesn't reflect well on them. But as far as the song itself, I think it's a fine song. It's more just like the history associated with it.
I'm gonna say no because I actually kind of do enjoy the song a little bit.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
But like I can't nominate it just on the principle that it was a Manson song or a Manson related song.
I get it. I get it. That's why I said it. I said straight up, I don't think it's going to get votes. Jake, your thoughts
Yeah,
on Never Learn
I'm
to Love?
gonna say no as well, just mostly because, well, I'm kind of with Riley. I think the song is fine. It's never been a favorite of mine, but I think it's fine. There's some nice production with it. I think they did a nice job with the arrangement. It doesn't blow me away, but I think it's okay. In terms of the Manson thing, honestly, like I kind of view this album as being more of like a kind of like a fun thing. Like, we're just doing like the crappiest, cheesiest crap, and I almost don't want the Manson connection on here just because it's like I don't want to give that any attention. So
No, I get it.
and
I
I
get it.
believe there was a bootleg compilation that has a bunch of tracks, like shitty tracks, and they actually
And it's on there.
So
It's called Endless Bummer.
I can see where you're coming from with that, but I'm gonna say no, just because like I kind of want to stick to like more like the fun cheesy rather than like holy shit this is dark cheesy. So yeah,
I get it. I totally understand. I totally understand.
yeah. All right. Let me think about this. I got quite a few written down here, so all right. Let's get it. Let's get this one done. Look.
I was on my list too. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, here's the deal. Okay, here's the thing. Okay. I know that, Dennis, a lot of people love Dennis. They love his songwriting. I like a lot of Dennis's songs. I think he was a great songwriter. He really came into his own. I think that this song is just a nothing of a song. I think Cuddle Up on Carl and the Passions, even though it is overproduced, especially towards the end of the song, I do think that it's a good song at its core. I think if you stripped it back more, it would be better. This one, though, just feels like Dennis sat down at a piano and was just playing chords, and they just decided, yeah, that's the song. Listening to it again recently, it has grown on me just a little bit. I do like the first minute or so. I think it's very kind of pretty, although I still don't love the look at the start. But as a song, though, after that, it just doesn't really go anywhere. It's just this really big, overblown orchestral arrangement, and it just doesn't do a lot for me. I do think it's one of the weakest tracks on Carl and the Passion, so I'm nominating it on. I don't think it's very good. Good.
Yeah, I mean,
we're talking about make it good.
Yeah, they should have made it good.
Here's the thing. Carl and the Passions, and I think I've said it before, has always been a very half and half album for me. The half of it I love, I really love. The half of it I don't really like at all. And this falls in the half that I don't really like at all. And I love Dennis as a songwriter. I love so many of his songs. I love Pacific Ocean Blue. I think it is by far the best Beach Boys solo album, and it's not even close in my book. But yeah, this was crap. It was, like you said, underwritten, spitballed at the keyboard, and overproduced. So yeah, yes for me.
Yeah, it's gonna be a yes for me, but on the amendment that we just do look for like 3 minutes, just extended to 3 minutes.
You know what? let's do that because that's the part we always make fun of anyway. So
All right, since we're just jumping around and we're doing random shit, Wipeout featuring the Fat Boys from Still Cruising.
Yeah.
Um, when I think of a Beach Boys dog shit album, this is the kind of song I'm talking about because it is objectively bad. It hurts my ears, but yet somehow I still want to listen to it because it's so funny, stupid. Um, so like this is like perfect candidate for a dog shit. It sounds like shit, it's produced like shit, it is shit. I never want to listen to it, but yet somehow I enjoy it every time I do listen to it. So yeah, I want to do Wipeout featuring the Fat Boys from Still Cruising.
I will say there's maybe a few good things that came out of this. First of all, the fact that the Beach Boys actually did a collaboration with a rap group. I think they beat out Aerosmith on that one, right? Because that was Walk This Way was like a year later, I think.
No,
Now,
Walk This Way was like 86.
I thought it was 86 or 87, but granted, that's much better. Much
Oh,
better
yeah.
than this. Of
well,
course.
and they got Run DMC. The Beach Boys got the Fat Boys.
Fat Boys, yeah. I mean, yeah, like you might like, I love old school hip hop, but this is crap, and I agree with that. And also, the other funny thing about it is Carl refused to appear in the video, and he's just in the background as like a floating head on like something. So that's amazing. But yeah, big thumbs up for me. It's crap, and the fact that it got #2 in the UK is a joke.
Yeah, this song should get wiped out of existence because I hate it.
It pretty much has been, honestly. It's not on streaming as far as I know, right?
What's crazy is that it apparently was a very successcul single, though. I forget if it was in the US or it was in Australia, but it went like top 5. It was like top.
It was 12 here and #2 in the UK.
Yeah, so it was really actually, and that makes it even worse to me. The fact that like, damn, this was actually on the radio for a bit. Like, wow. So yeah, I think it's crap. I think it's just really, really cheesy, stupid, but not in a good way. And again, it's one of those things where like people talk about like, oh, the Beach Boys name, like it's been tarnished. And like, this is an example of a song where it's like, oh my God. So yeah, it's a yes from me. I hate it.
Yeah, this is really the Beach Boys selling out.
Okay. Keeping on with the rap thing. Smart Girls. What the hell is that? Stupid.
Banger
not
of a song.
funny. It's not funny. It's dumb. It's dumb. My name is Brian and I'm the man. It sounds like
that's the appeal,
it's
man.
stupid. I think it's stupid. I think it's really stupid. I get what he was trying to go for. It does not work. It's him just like trying to cheesily rap over like a bunch of Beach Boy samples. It's not funny. It's just like I just don't like it. I just think it's dumb, and thank God it was never released. So that's Smart Girls.
I think the chorus is catchy. I think smart.
Yeah, I mean that's okay, but it's just like it's
honestly
stupid.
Could have been used on a much better song. But dude, I don't know. Like this is I'm like or for like the Fat Boys one is cheesy. I don't know. There's a lot of charm to this one. It's everything I stand against in music, but I enjoy it, man. I'm gonna be honest. Like I'm not like thinking it's masterclass genius Brian Wilson, but like, and I know it's like definitely Landy led and shit.
Oh, it's super. Yeah, that's the other reason I don't like it
like
either.
You know what, man? I get some enjoyment out of it.
So it's a no from you.
I'll say yes.
Okay.
Yes. It'll be one of the high points of the album for me.
Okay. And what about you, Jake? Your thoughts on Smart Girls?
It's a yes for me, and kind of what Riley was saying. Like, I can like, there's definitely some like really cheesy, stupid appeal to this in terms of like, oh my God, it's like my name is Brian, I'm the man, like But yeah, I can also acknowledge that it's crap. Like it's
crap.
It's really stupid. The fact that Landy's involved also makes it worse. Knowing that,
especially because Brian was writing some good stuff with Landy. Like I think most of Brian Wilson 88 is pretty good. I enjoy Let's Go to Heaven in My Car. I know Riley likes that one a lot. And I love what's the one that everybody loves? In My Car. That's fun. I love that song. It's a lot of fun. But like this, I just think it's like him trying to jump on a trend that doesn't work. It just sounds like he's like not even like medicated singing this song.
Right. He has that.
You know what, man? You're right with that because even like in Brian's like I guess like quote unquote worst moments, like Let's Go to the Heaven in My Car. It's so unashamedly Brian that it is good. And like this.
This sounds like he almost has like
unashamedly Brian, but it
was on a list that
Rolling Stone did. Not good.
It was on a list that Rolling Stone did once that was like the worst of like the worst songs by good songwriters, I think.
Smart Girls or Let's Go to Heaven in My Car?
Smart Girls.
Oh, thank God, because Let's Go to Heaven in My Car is a banger.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a yes from me. Yes.
Okay, Jake, your turn.
All right, let me think about this.
We're up to, just in case you're wondering, we're up to 10 tracks if you include the bombs bursting thing. If you don't include that, it's 9.
Bombs bursting thing. All right, let's go to MIU since a lot of people like to rag on this one, even though we do defend it a bit. Bells of Paris, stupid song. Honestly, this one like doesn't like offend me that much in like a this is horrible way. It's more so like, God, this is lame. Like this is just lame. It's too long. Again, Mike Love speaking another language is never a good formula. And that's what he's doing here. And I much prefer like in terms of Mike speaking in another language, I much prefer Sumahama, even though that song I'm still not a fan of that part of the song. But at least it's not the whole song. But yeah, Bells of Paris, not a fan of this one. I think it's very bland. And again, it was originally supposed to be Bells of Christmas, but then they had to rewrite it once the
Bells of Christmas.
Christmas album got rightfully rejected. I'm sure there's some songs on there that we could nominate as well. So,
oh yes, there are.
Bells
Yeah, no, I hate Bells of Paris. I think it's boring. I think it's like a sleeping pill. It's just not even interesting at all. It's so boring. That's the worst thing. That's the worst thing for me. I would rather take a song that is terrible, objectively terrible, but at least is entertaining than something that's just boring. And this song is just boring. And another thing, I just want to say one quick thing on Sumahama. I do agree that's a much better song, but I would say that is arguably more offensive just because it's singing in Japanese about a Korean woman. However, having said that, Bells of Paris is a much worse song, and it definitely gets a yes for me because it probably is my least favorite on MIU. Probably is, honestly.
Yep, that's my vote. Dude, I'll be honest, I barely remember how the song goes.
It's like at the beginning, it's like dun 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 dun.
It's just so boring.
Bells are ringing.
Oh yeah, I remember it now.
Yeah.
Just boring. That's the thing.
It's not offensively bad. It's just lame.
I would like as bad as Hey Little Tomboy has bad lyrics, but at least that's fun to listen to and has catchy melody. Or Smart Girls at least has some appeal despite it being dumb. Or same thing with Child of Winter. This is just boring. This is like
high IQs. Smart girls talk.
This is like just put it on and go to sleep. That's what it
is.
is.
Riley is reminding me of some of those amazing lyrics from Smart Girls.
My name is Brian and I'm the man. All right, quick songs like the hand in my hand. Smart girls talk about smart girls.
He loves Smart Girls.
I retract my vote on Smart Girls. That's an objectively fantastic.
Well, it still got 2 yeses, so it's still on. Okay. All
right. That's the one we're gonna put on in the club, man. All right. So speaking of songs that we put on in the club, I'm gonna put out the Steve Aoki remix of Fun 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 from 2023, I think 2024.
Yeah.
What the fuck were the marketing team thinking? And they're promoting the hell out of it too. They were on the Instagram, 5 of their stories were the new Steve Aoki remix of Fun Fun. Dude, there's a lot of Beach Boys songs you probably could sample, but of all the ones you could make a dance remix, this is worse than Here Comes the Night Disco mix. Dude, it's just the fuck's going on? And she'll have you have 500 songs in your catalog. You have about 40 early, I guess, hit pop songs you could choose. And you chose Fun, Fun, Fun? Shut up, Steve Aoki, dude. Shut up. That's mine. Steve Aoki remix of Fun, Fun, Fun.
I think it's all right. I honestly, I think it's all right.
Generous.
I am being generous. I have a very high tolerance for EDM, so maybe that's why I know some people in here maybe don't as much.
I love Screamadelica. That's a very EDM based album, and
I would say that's more acid house than EDM, but I will say this: it is not very good. I agree with you on that. It is not very good. I just don't think it's the biggest crime against humanity, like some people made it out to be. But it's not very good.
It's up there.
It's not that interesting.
It's harder when you're talking about the Beach Boys because there's a lot of crimes against humanity.
I don't think Steve Aoki is very good at what he does in general. So it gets a yes from me just because I think, but I'm just saying I don't think it's that horrible. I've heard way worse. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, all I'm gonna say is Daddy needs to take Steve's T-Bird away because this is horrendous. I heard it maybe once ever, and I was absolutely appalled by it. I could not believe how much they were promoting this thing because I think it's horrendous. Again, Matt, I'll say I'm not that into EDM stuff, but I will also say I don't know why we need to combine old songs with EDM. Just like I also don't know why we need to update some of these older songs and add a big, bunch of drums to them and stuff and just make them club songs. Just leave them alone. They're great as they are. We don't need to mess with them. So I don't think this is good at all. I think it's garbage and I think it should be on here. So it's a yes from me.
It was probably an attempt by the marketing team that bought the catalog and everything hey, let's appeal to young people. Let's come up with this.
I know exactly what they were trying to do. I just think
good afternoon, kids.
Yeah, it's not great. Okay. Sticking with the theme of dancey stuff, how about the 10-minute version of Here Comes the Night? And it has to be the full 10-minute version because it is just a boring disco song. I think that it had the potential to be good, and I think that if you tighten it up, it's good. But it just goes on for so long, and it's just not very entertaining. And I think disco can be very campy and very fun, but I think they missed the boat with this. I also don't think that was the best song to turn into a disco song, to be honest with you. I think they could have chosen something a bit more interesting. So yeah. And it was so badly received that they rushed to release Good Timin as a single. So they screwed up with that one.
I kind of have to think about this one because I don't like it. I don't. I think it's stupid. I think it's way too long. It's just dumb. I think we were kind of talking about on our episode on LA, like they really kind of like threw the kitchen sink at this one, trying to make it work, and it just doesn't. Like I think Bruce was like, oh, we need to do a disco song because that's really trendy right now, and it's like it just doesn't work. And you have like the freaking monkey noises at the one point. It's like, why is that on there? It's just dumb. My one thing with it though is I feel like, again, we're trying to kind of limit this thing to 24 tracks. I feel like this would have to count as 2 given its runtime. And I don't really want it to take up 2 because I feel like there's more crap I'd want to get on here. So,
well, I mean, it depends on if you're looking at it from like, are we making this like an LP style? Or are we just making this as a playlist? Because if it's just a playlist, it counts as 1.
I'll say yes for now, but I'd be okay with removing this. So
okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
it's going to be the first song I'd take off because
okay,
I think there is appeal here. It's definitely grown on me a little bit.
Same here, a little bit.
If it wasn't 10 minutes, man, I could see it being pretty solid. But
oh yeah, no, I agree. I think what really kills it is the length. It's just too long, and it's not interesting for the 10 minutes. Because I've heard 12-inch mixes of stuff that are very interesting. This isn't.
It's not like it's a jam section either. It's like calculated. If it's like a jam section, I'd love it. But
yeah, I mean, Carl gives a good gritty vocal on it, but it just doesn't. It just no reason needs to be that long, and the fact that the album version is that long too, like, oh my god.
Yeah, that's what honestly I think that if you want my honest opinion, I think that being on the album is what ended up tanking that album's reputation for a lot of people.
I imagine, yeah, like you just know that as like, oh, that's the disco album, even though that's the only song on there that's really like that, So. All right, so let's go. We're going to do a solo track, and hopefully you guys have both heard this travesty. Mike Love's version of Do It Again, featuring John Stamos and Mark McGrath. This is just dreadful. This is just horrendous. Yeah. Horribly auto-tuned vocal with Mike. I understand that the guy's getting older, but I'd honestly rather just listen to him a little bit out of tune versus different level of auto-tune. I hate the stupid video. If you've heard it and hate it, wait till you see the video because the video is even more painful to watch.
Where he's like this, like
I hate when Mark comes in with his stupid part, like
fuck
and bodies. Like I just it's so stupid and I hate it. And I think that they maybe lip sync to this version once too, at some show. So yeah, I just think it's awful and it's an embarrassing version of a great song. So yeah.
Well, I don't even really care for the original, and this is even worse. So yes, for me. Here's the thing, and I wouldn't. As much as I don't care for Do It Again, I wouldn't suggest it for something like this because I know objectively it is a good song. I just don't care for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this gets a yes because and I can't get over the thumbnail of Mark McGrath looking like the stupid face he makes. Dude, you need to put that over there.
That thumbnail should be the album cover. I swear to God. Like I can't with that cover. I can't.
I vote yes just for Mark McGrath alone.
Not a Sugar Ray fan.
Oh my God, dude.
Not a Sugar Ray fan. I take it.
Fucking serious.
Too much sugar.
No, I know you don't like them. It's not. I know that's not your style at all. I'll be.
I mean, it's one of those things where just reading the title of the video, you just know you're in for a treat. Like, Do It Again featuring it's Mike Love, John Stamos, and Mark McGrath. Like, oh boy, this has got to be good. Like,
that's the Nightmare Blunt rotation right there.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, seriously.
I want to vote for a song I don't even remember how it sounds. Sunshine from Keeping the Summer Alive. I listened to it earlier today. I'm like, all right, is it really that bad? And no, but I remember and I wasn't even gonna say it until I was like, oh, what other songs can I do? And I was like, Sunshine. How does that one go again? I don't know. I forgot. So I think we should do it just for that. Like just because I feel like a lot of Keeping the Summer Alive is fine. It's just so unmemorable. And I'm being dead serious. I don't remember how it goes. I really don't. I'm sure they say Sunshine in there at some point.
They do. Sunshine.
I remember. I don't even remember it either. But yeah,
if only to represent some of the unforgettableness, or not the unforgettableness, the forgettableness of Keeping the Summer Alive. I think we should just throw it out there. I'd much rather listen to Summer in Paradise where I can at least remember the melodies.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it a yes because I don't even remember it either, but I remember listening to Keeping the Summer Alive not too long ago, and I remember not liking this one. So, yeah, sure.
So this one, so I re-listened to it because I remember in a couple of our episodes we had some people comment and say like they like Sunshine. They think it's like it's like Brian,
70 shortened
like
and
they
bread.
think it's like Brian's 80 shortening bread. I saw somebody
Yeah.
describe it as. So, I've re-listened to it a few times after seeing that. I can see the appeal some people have with this. Like it is a kind of catchy. I can see that, but it really is lame. It's kind of like what Riley said. Like it just kind of it's not memorable, and it's really kind of the same thing over and over again. It's pretty much just dum 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 be do, and I don't know. And then you got like the stupid like tropical noises and stuff too. It's just very stupid. So even though it has grown on me a little bit, I am gonna nominate it. I'm gonna give it a yes as well. I'm not a fan of it. And I think in terms of production, this is one of the worst sounding songs on the album as well. I remember when we were talking about this song, Justin said that it was pretty much thrown together. Like they were basically looking to fill space. And like Bruce was like, yeah, we had this fragment of a song and we just looping it. And like that's pretty much what it sounds like. It sounds like an exercise in like tape editing. So yeah, it's just really lame. So it's a yes for me.
Okay. I don't know if this is going to get any votes, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway because this is often seen as like the black mark on a great album, student demonstration time. Because here's the thing. Here's how I feel about this song. I actually think the backing track kind of rips. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's done well. Even though I know it's just Riot and Cell Block number 9, it's done really well. Those lyrics are awful, barring that one line about the pen is mightier than the sword.
It is some of the Mike Love's best and worst lyrics of all time.
But like when it's bad, it's really bad.
And when it's good,
like,
holy shit, it's
but
good.
it's to me the bad outweighs the good. And the fact that this has often almost always been universally cited as like the one really bad track on Surf's Up, I think it deserves a mention.
I'm saying no, strictly. And I mean strictly. And I keep in mind, not because of the backing track. I love the backing track. Strictly for the pen is mightier than the sword, but no match for a gun.
That's a good lyric, but
Mike Love's best lyric, bar none.
But I just don't like the message that the song gives out because the message almost says like don't protest because the cops are going to shoot you, which I don't think is a very good message, especially to portray in the early 70s when like protest music was really good and rock was supposed to be about standing up against the establishment. I think it almost makes Mike look like a square 10 years before all the Reagan stuff, giving money to Tipper Gore to censor music, which he did, which was shameful. So I just think it's like a bad precedent of what was to come.
All right, but the pen is mightier than the sword, but no match for a gun.
I said that was a good lyric. I just think the rest of the song is crap.
Bachelor of Bullets.
Fucking
Jake,
bars,
Jake,
dude.
what do you
yeah, I'm split on this one because like again, I like you guys said, I like the backing track. I also love like the guitar solo like halfway through. I think that sounds really great too. I think they did it could have been a really good rewrite of Ride and Cell Block number 9, but instead, like Matt said, the lyrics are just very they're just ill-informed lyrics. They just come off as bad today and they came off as cringy then, and so I'm kind of split on it.
Is it really the worst the Beach Boys have to offer?
Probably not, but
well,
it's like
I'm going to say no because it is on my Beach Boys playlist. I don't skip it when I listen to the album, but I also will acknowledge for our listeners that I can understand why you would put this on this kind of album because I see the issue people take with it. But
as do I. I want to make that clear.
But you also, I think the other thing too, Riley, is there's another song on Surf's Up that you think is even worse that most people would not agree with you. That's I think the other thing.
I'm not voting yes on that. So
yeah, no, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I voted this more because like I think this might have actually been on that compilation too, to be honest with you. I think the problem is just that album is so good that this just kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. And the issue I mainly take with it is mostly the lyrics. Because like honestly, if you came up with better lyrics for this,
or you just did Ride and Cell Block number 9 with
that's like the easy
with way. That one line that Mike Love wrote.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the Endless Bummer compilation, and it looks like they did have Riot and Cell Block number 9. I don't know if that's their cover of it or that's just student demonstration time, just labeled as that. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
They have Be True to Your Butt on there too.
Well, that's a disgrace.
Because they said it was Mike Love Sells Out. That's why they put on there.
That's a great song.
Okay. Jake, you go.
All right. Was it me? Okay.
Yeah, because I nominated student demonstration time.
Okay. All right. Let's get this one done. All right. Forever, the Stamos version from Summer in Paradise. I despise it. I understand. I know Matt said it's not the worst thing ever.
Yeah, it gets for me because I don't think it's that bad.
For me, it tarnishes a great song. I think the original is so beautiful. I think it's a beautifully written and produced ballad by Dennis. It's so heartfelt. It's very moving, melancholic too, knowing Dennis's life story and what happened to him. And then this version, they basically turned it into like a glam style, glam rock power ballad. And I'm just not a fan of it. And I'm somebody that, I had a period where I was into quite a bit of like the glam rock stuff. I like some like power ballads and stuff, but like that treatment did not need to be given to this song. I think it's disgraceful, and I don't like that John Stamos is singing it. I do not like his vocal on it. I think he's trying to like over like centralize it, like the way he's singing it. I just don't like it at all. And I don't like it also that like there's people that don't know that this is a Beach Boys song. So, and they think it's like, oh, it's the Forever song, Jesse and the Rippers, So yeah, not a fan.
So the reason I'm voting no, let me explain why. First of all, I think that this is such a good song, it can take a beating. Second of all, I like that John Stamos at least brought it to a bigger audience on Full House. Now, I will say the rendition that was sung on Full House with the choir and the piano is much better. That would have been a better choice to put on the album. Third, I think there is far worse on Summer in Paradise. Like there's the stupid title track. There's the stupid Mike Love rapping bullshit that like we're getting tired of. Like people all around the
I'll just say that doesn't see that doesn't like I think that's ridiculous and stupid, but that doesn't like offend me. Like this offends.
But also too, another thing too is I have a weakness for like the kind of ballads you mentioned. And so like I love Everything I Do It For You. I love Right Here Waiting by Richard Marx. I love what's that one? More Than Words.
I love those, when John Stamos shuts the fuck up.
So I love those like kind of cheesy power ballads like you mentioned. So to me it's like I don't mind it that much. I really don't think it's that bad. So that's why I'm voting no. I understand why some people hate it and think it's a crime against humanity. To me it's just okay. And like I said, I think the song is so good it can take a beating. Like you could apply this treatment to George Harrison's Something and you'd be fine because it's like just a good song. You could because it's just such a good song. It can take a beating.
If John Stamos sang Something, I might want to just
something in the way.
I'm not saying it would be good. I'm just saying that like I don't think this is good. Don't get me wrong. I don't think this is good by any stretch of the imagination. But I just think that the song is decent enough to take a beating. And for what it's worth, the guy that used to run the Cabanescence, Surfer Moon, that website actually even said for him this was the best thing on Summer in Paradise. So
well, good for him. You should get his ears.
I agree with that. I don't think it's that bad.
Something in the way she moves.
Okay, so I know Ryan. Yes.
Like, help me out here, please.
Yeah, fuck this shit. We are putting this shit on because like I mean I will agree with you, Matt. As a fan of the Full House TV show, the initial time that he played Forever for the wedding episode, he did not make it like, oh, this is my song. This is Jesse and the Rippers. He made it. He just played it. And even the second time we had the Beach Boys on, he mentioned like, hey, this is your song. Can I do it? I appreciated that. And then he made this shit. It's a clusterfuck of a song. It's absolutely spits and desecrates Dennis Wilson's grave.
I wouldn't go that far.
He tries to take credit for it too. Is absolute horse shit. I guess dog shit, my bad, because this is the dog shit album. It's just it has no place like in Beach Boys history. It just desecrates him. And I'll be honest, I've always been a fan of John Stamos as like a general person. I feel like he's a generally decent guy until this song, because it absolutely just tarnished his image of him. Yeah, like I was like, oh, John Stamos, he seems a pretty stand-up guy. He's a good actor. He seems like a pretty cool person. And then I became a Beach Boys fan, and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never hated it, honestly. Like, I don't think it's great by any stretch of the imagination, but I just think that, like, there's far more offensive in the catalog, and there's far more offensive on that album than this.
And also, it's like, it's included on a Beach Boys album, and it's pretty much just like a John Stamos solo project. I know like the Beach Boys appear during the little like that quiet part towards the end. You get some vocals from Carl, and that's my favorite part of the song when John shuts the fuck up. So yeah, no, I hate that it's included on a Beach Boys album like it's a Beach Boys song. John Stamos is not a Beach Boy. He plays with the Beach Boys sometimes, but he's not a Beach Boy.
He likes to act like he is, though.
He likes to act like he is, and he likes to be all flashy up there on the stage. But yeah.
Well, I also think, too, maybe the reason I have a higher tolerance for it is because I grew up listening on the radio to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's understandable.
So like I said, like Right Here Waiting, More Than Words, Everything I Do. That's all the stuff I grew up listening to. So to me, it's like, it's nostalgic almost.
And I also want to say, I'm not somebody that like necessarily hates 80s ballads either. You know, I like Is This Love, Whitesnake. I love that song. There's like even like Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now, Starship. I think I'm fine with that song, but like
I'm fine with it too. But I know that people hate it.
It's like they massacred my boy. That's
no, I get it. I get why it's hated. I'm just saying for me, it's not that bad.
Look how they massacred my boy.
Yeah, insert Godfather meme here.
If Dennis could hear this, he's like, "What did you do?"
Who the fuck's a John Stamos?
Dennis would have punched him in the face.
All right,
All right,
who's
Riley.
next?
My
All right.
turn. As we are in the darkest pits of hell, this song is only slightly better, I would say. Worse lyrics though. Lazy Lizzy.
Oh God, that song.
If you think Hey Little Tomboy is bad, this is the ugly like younger brother. So I don't really want to talk about it more, but I figured it's definitely some of the worst.
Yeah, just yes. I mean, you know, I have issues with Hey Little Tomboy, and this is even worse. So yeah.
Makes Hey Little Tomboy look like,
Yeah, I
well,
have to actually re-listen to this one because it's been a while since I heard it. Yeah, the lyrics are creepy. I probably would have. It's already on the album. I would have actually probably given it a no, just because, like, to me, it's just like a demo. Like, it wasn't really even finished. Like, it wasn't. It never got an official release. Yeah, I would have given it a no, but I also think it has a place on the album for sure, just for how creepy it is, and for for people that are disappointed that Hey Little Tomboy didn't make it. Well, here you go. So,
Yeah, Hey Little Tomboy for me has too good of a melody to put on
yeah.
there, and Carl kills it.
Yeah, if only Carl was singing something other than "Time to Turn You Into a Girl."
doing it all over the world.
Where do we start with that? I know we've dogpiled on this album a lot, but Denny's drums. I mean, come on.
Can we
Come
make it like a
on.
30-second interlude?
Yeah,
Sure, sure, sure. It won't count as an actual song because it's just like it's filler.
Yeah, dude,
And it's the most
it's
blatant
just like a tape
filler.
loop again. It's just
Yeah, it's like it's not even done well. It's like you said, it's not Ginger Baker or Keith Moon or eh, it's just like, and the fact that I think there
Allen.
actually is a compilation album that was put out that's like all Beach Boys instrumentals. And the thing about their instrumentals is they range from like some are quite good, like think Summer Means New Love or Let's Go Away for a While, and then some are like this, which are just so like just like filler. And like the one good thing about it is at least it was at the end of the side, so you could just turn off the record player. But yeah, and we could do this interlude. That's fine.
Jake.
all right. Well, Bruce, I love you, but from Going Public, Won't Somebody Dance with Me?
Ooh.
Yeah, this is pretty bad. It's a cover of an older song. I forgot the name of the artist, but she has a song or two that I like. Bruce's version it's the most Bruce thing ever. It's extremely, extremely cheesy. It really tests my limits of cheese, and I can handle a lot of cheesy stuff. But you have this girl saying, or Bruce says, and she says, "Daddy," and then this girl with this really like, "Want somebody dance," and then Bruce is like comforting her through the song, like, "It's okay, sweetheart." Like, oh my god, like this is pretty rough. And I remember listening to the old podcast a couple years ago, the old podcast that Nate was on, and this song came up. And I think that's how I first discovered it. And I remember even Nate, who loves like pretty much, everything from the band and can defend it, he even said like, yeah, this one's pretty rough. So yeah, not a fan of this one. I do think it has some charm in like a "this is so ridiculous" kind of way. But yeah, I'm nominating it for some Bruce representation on here.
First of all, Lindsay DePaul is
Lindsay Paul, she does a
the
song
girl.
called "Sugar Me," which I like quite a bit.
That's the original person. First of all, I think this is hilarious. Like it honestly is
Oh, what's
funny just to
hilarious?
listen to. It is so funny. Yeah, no, it's awful. It's Bruce at his most saccharine and syrupy, which is a lot because he is generally just a very syrupy guy. And I've said it before, it sounds like it was recorded underwater. I don't know why it sounds so bad, but it may very well be one of the worst sounding recordings on a like major label that I've ever heard. Like it just sounds so bad, especially for like it's not the kind of he wasn't trying to go for like a punk record or something that like is supposed to be like sounding bad. This
Yeah.
just sounds like crap. I don't know why. And it's horrible. Yes,
Yeah.
for me.
Yes, because it's Bruce Johnson. No other reason.
We need some Bruce on here, right?
We need some Bruce. Well, we already had a little bit of Bruce.
Well, like a
All
real song. This is a real song, though.
Yeah. All I know, one other thing I want to mention, when I have Sirius XM in my car, and sometimes the Beach Boys station, it's on like seasonally during the summer. And I remember this past summer, I'm in the car and I turn on the ignition and I hear, and she says, "Daddy," and I'm like, you got to be kidding me! They're actually playing this. So that's how I knew the Beach Boys station plays everything, because they were playing "Won't Somebody
They know
Dance."
their fans. I think the
Yeah,
funniest thing is like there are people that will listen to this dog shit album. That's the funny part.
Absolutely, I would listen to this dog shit album. I think it's hilarious. So,
Riley.
all right, Riley, what's it going to be?
I'm stuck between two things. One of them is a medley, and the other one is an audible content from the Beach Boys. Which one would you guys love?
Let's do the audible content because we haven't had
Mike
any of that
loves
yet.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame speech.
Yes. Big time, yes.
Specifically the Mick Jagger part.
It opens up side 2.
Yeah, no, that's a big
side,
time, yes.
yeah, side 2, sure, why not?
Where do I even start with that? I mean, seriously, yeah. Yes.
Well, I mean, I will give him the benefit of the doubt. I know he was fasting. I know that maybe he didn't have enough apple juice that day.
He didn't meditate that day, I think you said.
That's what he has said. Yeah, he didn't meditate.
He was fasting. So I'll give him that. But like, how the fuck do you still say that on stage? Like,
I mean, you know, it was bad when Carl went back to the stage, slumped in his seat, and said, "Our career is over." And then apparently Al said he went up to George Harrison and Ringo and apologized profusely for that speech.
Yeah, he was like, I don't know what got into him. Yeah,
forgot to meditate. And yeah, somebody who needs a little bit of routine, yeah, definitely like makes me a little angry or upset if I like miss a little bit. But that doesn't make me go up on stage and say Mick Jagger's too chicken shit to get on stage with the Beach Boys.
And then he was like comparing like the Beatles to the Beach Boys, and John Lennon had been dead for like 8 years at that point in time. It's just like, and then he's like talking about like Diana Ross, and it's just
the more than anything that like makes me not understand it is like that speech is all over the fucking place. Like, I don't know, like what
shitting on Paul McCartney for fighting with Yoko at the time. I mean, it's just like,
well, I just didn't get it. It was like when you listen to it in full, it like what the fuck was his direction with it? He was like, well, my family grew up in Kansas. They were Dust Bowl farmers. Oh, by the way, Mick Jagger's too chicken shit to get on stage with the Beach Boys. The boss. We're all about harmony. Like he had no direction. Like that thing was. It reminded me of Smile, the way it had multiple parts.
Didn't Bob Dylan even say like, "Thank you, Mike Love, for not mentioning me"?
Yeah, no, it was Elton John.
Elton John
said, "Thank fuck you didn't mention me."
Oh, it was Elton John. Okay, I didn't know if it was Elton John or Bob Dylan.
But
yeah,
Bob did say something though. Bob did say something. You're right, man. So
it had no direction. Like if he was gonna say, yeah, like the other bands aren't like us, they haven't lasted as long as us. Like, okay, if you want to talk about your family being like Dust Bowl farmers, yeah, you can do that. But it had no direction to it. It made no sense.
It's probably one of the most preposterous things I've ever heard like a major rocker say. It's up there with like, I don't know if you count him as a rocker, but Davy Jones saying he could be David Bowie. I don't know what the hell he was thinking about. He literally said that one time. He said he could have been David Bowie. No. I love the Monkees, but no. Yes, from you, Jake.
Yeah, for me, as long as it's more of like, I don't know if I want it to be a full track though. Like maybe like specifically get that Jagger part, get the whole Jagger rant. But
how about when just him naming artists and saying,
yeah, that's fine. I don't know how long that is, but yeah, that's fine.
It's like 30
Okay.
seconds.
So does that count as an interlude? Or
Yes.
that's interlude? Okay. I'm gonna do our first live track.
Oh,
That
okay.
performance of Carl in Australia when he sang Good Vibrations and he was so drunk and it was so bad that he had to go apologize on TV the next day. He's like,
yeah,
he's like slurring. He's like, we want to say thank you to all of you. I love the colorful clothes she wears. He's like slurring the whole time. He's like, oh, it's just, poor Carl.
Yeah.
I know he was going through it at the time, but that was just embarrassing. Yeah. And you know, the guy had to like basically apologize on television the next day by saying like what did he say, had 2 Mai Tais and a Valium or something.
Yeah.
A lot more than just that, but yeah, that's my vote.
Oh yeah,
that's my nomination.
You get me drunk, man. It's not enough.
Yeah, it's a yes from me as well. I've only heard it a few times, but yeah, it's a rough performance. And if I remember right, I'm pretty sure like during the outro, it just kept going because like Carl was like not ending the song. So I'm pretty sure, I think it was Brian who saved the day, and he did like the Smile ending of Good Vibrations, like the original Smile ending, like the hum-dee-da, and that ended up, they were able to get the song to a close by doing that, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, but yeah, rough performance, and obviously Carl was going through a lot at that time. So obviously don't want to, make fun of that, but like it is a rough performance and it is pretty funny to listen to. So
it is bad to listen to. I will say this though, it's something when Brian was the most put together Wilson brother.
Yeah, Brian, I'm pretty sure was the one that kind of saved the day there because they were really just going to keep looping the end, and then Brian started doing the hum-dee-da, and then that's how they ended it. Yeah.
I think there's a recording of this on like a film version out on YouTube. So
yeah, yep.
Is that a yes from you, Riley, on that one? Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Some good vibrations.
So what are we at now, Matt? For like
so we're at 21 tracks. less the 3 interludes, it's 3. It's 18, I'm sorry. It's 18 with if you don't include the 3 interludes.
All right,
Okay.
so yeah, 18 tracks.
So okay. All right. Okay, let's go. You know what? So since Matt did a live track, I will get one more live track. I'm gonna do "Don't Worry, Baby" live at the Queen Mary. Carl's not there.
Oh
Brian's
God.
lead. This is a disaster. There's no other way to put it. Listen, I love Brian, and I know he's been through a lot. And at that time, obviously, he'd been through a lot too. But man, this is rough. This is really rough. Brian, I don't know why they had Brian sing this lead. It's pretty much downhill from like the minute the vocal starts. He can't do the falsetto anymore. It's honestly pretty sad to listen to. It's just sad. And Carl's missing, and the band's just really struggling. And really, that whole Queen Mary performance really just shows you how important Carl was to the band, especially at this point. It really shows you how dysfunctional they were without him. And yeah, this is just a really rough performance. And if you want to hear it, you can go on YouTube, just type in Beach Boys live at the Queen Mary 1981, and you can find this performance in there. But yeah, Don't Worry Baby especially is really rough. So I'm nominating Matt.
That whole concert was a disaster. So
Yeah,
no, definitely yes. And this also was around the same time that they did, in my opinion, one of the most shameful things they've ever done, which is saying something when they played Sun City in South Africa. That was horrible. So yeah, yes for me.
Yes, for me, Riley. Okay.
I don't even want to talk about it. Don't Worry, Baby is one of my favorite songs. I love Brian. It's just
I know.
Don't Worry About It live, Queen Mary. Okay, we got it. Next,
I'm gonna go with that medley I wanted to do. I Get Around / Little Deuce Coupe medley from Party. I love the Party album. I think it's one of the honestly unintentionally most genius albums they've done. Started a trend of very much foreshadowed like the acoustic albums. And then they pull this shit out. It's like the songs are barely coherent. You can't even really call it a medley. They should have honestly just done no Beach Boys songs and just replaced it with one of the many outtakes they had from the Party sessions. But I love Party, but this is, oh my God, it ruins one of my favorite songs. And it's like it tries so hard to be funny.
yeah, I kind of agree because I'm a big Party fan myself. I know Justin was not a big fan of that album. I don't know where you stand on it, Jake, but I'm a big Party fan. I think there's a lot of really good covers on there, and I think it's a pretty slept on album, but this is just stupid. I think they're trying to be funny. It's not funny. And I think it's honestly like I've said it before, I think they're very corny, the Beach Boys humor, and this is like the worst of it. It's like try to show this to anybody and they're going to be like it's just stupid. It's so yeah, yes for me.
Yeah, it's a yes for me. I had it on my list as well. Yeah, it's honestly just annoying to listen to. I see what they were trying. I can see what they're trying to do. It's like, oh, let's do like a more stripped back kind of fun version, show our sense of humor. But honestly, I just get annoyed listening to it. I'm just like, Mike, shut up. Like, stop like changing the words and like interrupting and stuff. It's just annoying. And you basically tarnishes, completely ruins 2 really great songs, including, Riley's favorite, I Get Around. So yeah, not a fan of this. I think these songs stripped back could be great if they would just do them normally, but instead they had to be like, yeah, let's act like we're having a fun time and like we're like drinking and stuff. And it's not good. It's not good. So yeah, I'll give it a yes.
All right, dude. Like I feel like Party. I think most of the hate honestly comes from like where the album places in the Beach Boys timeline rather than because it makes it a like an informal bridge between Summer Days and Pet Sounds. But
That right. And I think also too is sorry. Also it's like you're right, but also I think it's like some people don't like the overludes they put on it, like not the overludes, the overdubs or like the talking and like the like they're trying to make it into a party atmosphere. Some people don't like that.
Yeah, I think in some cases on there that adds to the charm, and in other cases I wish it wasn't there. Like on like some songs, it's stripped back enough where I don't really mind it. Like on Devoted to You, there's like some laughing in the background. I don't really mind that. But like on this one, I wish they would just do a straight up cover and stop with the goofiness, So.
And the laughing, man, some of the laughings are like it's like ah!
Oh God, that reminds me of the laughing on
I was thinking the same thing, man. Same. I'm not nominating it, but same thing. Yeah.
Okay. I'm nominating something from that aborted Christmas album.
Oh God.
Melakaliki Maka, that rewrite of Kona Coast. I just think it's really stupid. It has some very stupid lyrics, like Melakaliki Maka is what they say in Hawaii Taka or something like that. I'm not a huge fan of like the original, like what is it like? I'm not a huge fan. I'm not the biggest fan of Kona Coast to begin with. And this is
Yeah.
just a really bad rewrite of it. And I don't know if this was actually included on Merry Christmas from the Beach Boys, like the bootleg. I know it's definitely on the Christmas they did like the ultimate Christmas compilation, but it was recorded around that time. I just think it's really dumb, and it just doesn't flow well either. It's like they're trying to like stretch as like a bunch of syllables into like that melody, and the cadence is just terrible.
I'm gonna say no because I feel like there's worse.
I mean, this is pretty bad.
We're running out of room, and I think there could be much worse.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no, but not because of that. I'm just gonna say because like I haven't heard this in a long enough time to like definitively say like yeah, this is like one of the worst things in the catalog. So I'm gonna say no, but I'm sure it's dog shit, and I am gonna re-listen to it after we do this. So I'll definitely shout it out. Honorable mention for that for sure.
Well, it samples Hawaii, which I already know you're not the biggest fan of that song to begin with, because
No.
it's the same thing as Kona Coast. So
Right. Well, yeah, I think this is one of those things like I just have not heard it in a long
yeah,
time.
no, that's fair.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go with let's go with the one from Matt's favorite album, Summer in Paradise. We're gonna go with their cover of Remember Walking in the Sand, the Shangri-La's song. This is an obnoxious cover. From the remember, I don't know what they're doing there. You have this obnoxious saxophone that comes in like the I will say Carl's vocal is very good as always. I think like Matt has said, Carl can sing the phone book and make it sound good. But man, this is an obnoxious cover. Even if like there are parts of it, I will say I do enjoy. This is pretty much sums up everything that's wrong with the album in terms of the production, the overproduction, and just yeah, it's just a completely obnoxious cover of a classic song from the Shangri-Las. So yeah, this is pretty bad, and like the carnival sounding keyboard or organ is pretty ridiculous too. So yeah, not a good cover, but I still laugh at it when I listen to it. But what do you guys? Yes, no?
I'm gonna vote no because I just think there's worse on Summer in Paradise, but it's not great.
Riley.
That's right, but remember.
So yes or no for you, Riley?
I don't really mind which way you go on this because I agree with Matt. I do think there's worse. So, but it is funny as hell.
There's
though.
way worse than this.
I'm gonna say no.
He went away, crossed the sea.
Yeah, just because you know what, Carl is a good enough vocal for it.
Yeah.
So, no.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. Yeah, it's not bad enough.
All right. I'm gonna go with one from Salute NASCAR. I could probably go with any of them, so let me just randomly pick one. I get around. I get around from Salute NASCAR. Oh, you know what? We already did I get around. So hold on, let me pick another one.
Oh man,
I like how I can just pick any of them and I'll be fine. Let's go with Little GTO. Just for the nasally vocal. That's enough, I think.
Yeah, I think that's enough. Yes for me.
Yeah, I'll give it a yes. Although personally, I would say like "Don't Worry, Baby" on there is worse than that.
Do you want to do? Dude, I think we all agree for any of them. Do you just want to do "Don't Worry, Baby"?
I would say "Don't Worry, Baby."
Let's do "Don't Worry, Baby." We already
they're taking.
We already have a "Don't Worry, Baby" on there. But if you want to do it again, I don't care.
Do it again. I think we can do it again. I don't mind. Honestly, if we don't mind doing that, I don't mind putting the "I Get Around." I think the "I Get Around" is dreadful. I think that's the most like that. That sums up me is that version of "I Get Around." Like,
Riley, what do you want? Because I mean that's bastardizing your favorite song of all time. So,
if we don't mind repeating, I would go "I Get Around" personally because I think that's just dreadful. But
why don't we do Little GTO just so we have variety?
Fine.
We really need variety on here, of course.
Nate's not going to be a fan of that nomination.
Going back to Summer in Paradise, Summer of Love. We have Brian rapping. Here's Mike rapping. Where do I start with this?
We have the Fat Boys rapping.
It's just stupid. It's corny. He's trying to like appeal to like young women, comes across like a creep. The music video is crap. The Baywatch promotion. I think this is just like this is just like if you want to see one of the worst of the Beach Boys, this song. It's just there's nothing good about it. Nothing good about it.
Because the chorus is
girls are always ready for a summer.
I mean, if you can even get to it, I think it's like I cringe so bad just from like the verses that like I can't get. I shared this one time with friends and they were like, I got 10 seconds and I had to turn it off.
Yeah, you'll get it. I'll give you that one. Yeah.
Okay. And then Jake.
Yeah, it's a yes for me. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. It's one of those things where like I laugh at it when I listen to it.
It's
I
funny, but
always,
it's not
the
good.
part that I cracks me up the most every time is that horrible like vocal effect on the girls are always ready from like I think it's Bruce. Yeah, that always sounds that's terrible. And yeah, the lyrics are some of the worst in the catalog. You got Mike talking about taking this girl on a love vacation. So yeah, it's pretty bad. And you have Brian in the music video looking completely miserable in the
Oh
background,
yeah.
arms
Brian
crossed,
Brian
clearly not into it. God bless Carl for going along with this. And yeah, it's bad. So it's a yes for me as well. But it is hilarious. So
So just as an FYI, we have 25 tracks, including the 3 interludes, 22 actual songs. So 2 more spots.
okay.
But I am opening to kicking off a couple things. Like I'm more than happy to get rid of the Here Comes the Night disco mix if we want to get rid of that.
All right. Okay, well, let's get these next 2 done, and then we can figure that out.
Okay.
Let's go with another Mike solo track. My last Mike solo track. This too shall pass. The solo Mike Love pandemic song. This is just no, it's just not good. The lyrics are stupid. Freaking viral Super Bowl. You got Mike auto-tuned to hell. Honestly, that's the worst thing about it. Beyond the lyrics is like Mike's vocal could not be more auto-tuned. I recently discovered this funny video. A fan made an edit where they took the backing track and they synced it up to one of Mike's live vocals of this song that wasn't auto-tuned, and they synced it up, and it's even more of a disaster. So I guess the auto-tune was for the best here, but that said, it still sounds terrible. The music video is very cringy with like Stamos on the drums. It's just dumb. So I know Nate would hate me for nominating this, but I'm nominating it. I think it's a load of crap. So this too shall pass by Mike Love.
This too shall pass. 'Cause
It
I'm
just
voting.
feels like almost like a cash grab. I mean, I'm sure it was for charity, but it just feels like he's like just like, oh, it's a pandemic. Let's write something. Yeah, no.
We all
Right?
remember when school was out. It's a
Yes
call.
from me. Yes from me.
We're having fun, fun, fun in the sun. Matt loves when they do those self-references, I know. So,
I don't mind them on occasion, but like usually they're
yeah.
just not done well. That's the problem usually.
Yeah. I will say the little piano on that is catchy though. Do 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 do. Then it just gets stupid after that. All right, Riley, what do you got?
I'm looking, man. I got like one more choice. I gotta pick something really, really, really bad.
Again, we can kick some stuff off too if we need to. Hopefully, we
Yeah,
won't
but
do too much.
I got a standard that I gotta live up to. Hold on.
That's standard.
See, I got a
Yeah.
bunch of like tracks that I mean they'd probably get on, but they're not truly terrible.
Anything from 15 Big Ones, possibly?
Oh, I can think of something from there. Actually, I have from there.
Yeah, I know Matt. I know Matt can think of something.
Yeah, let me get one from 15 big ones.
What's it gonna be?
I had one written down, but you know what? I know there's something worse on here.
Well, I know what I think. I know what my least favorite on there is.
I'm gonna go with Talk to Me / Tallahassee Lassie, but just Tallahassee Lassie.
That's actually not my least favorite, but that's not great either.
Tallahassee Lassie.
Would that
It's
be
just-
would that be an interlude then? If we're just doing
Because that's only it's only a bit of a
to me
song.
that's
So
to me that's an interlude.
That's me,
Okay,
that's
it
an
can be
interlude.
an interlude, but we need a little bit of Talk to Me in there.
that's fine.
Just so you get. Oh no! You know what? Just Tallahassee Lassie. Put it
Yeah.
after a random song.
Okay. Yeah, there's
Yeah, no, like there's no transition. We just go from one song and then Tallahassee Lassie. Yeah,
so that's
I'm
an
gonna. Yeah,
interlude.
I will say yes to that as an interlude. If it was the full song, I'd say no because I do like the "Talk to Me" part with Carl singing it.
Yeah, that's a beautiful part. That's why
yeah.
Tallahassee Lassie's so bad.
Right. It's just so out of nowhere. Like when I first came on, I was like, is this like another song? And then I looked and I'm like, oh no, it's still on Talk to Me. Like, huh. So yeah, not a fan of that one. But I personally I'm with Matt. There's another song I would pick from that album. But
Let's hear
Okay.
it then, Matt. We got to get some mid-70s representation.
Blueberry Hill. I don't think it's a very
I
I don't think it's a very good cover. I think it's too slow. I think it's overproduced. And I think like when you listen to like I don't think it's sung very well. And when you listen to like the Fats Domino version, it's just so much better. It's just like that one's like it's got this like what do you call it, like rocking and rolling kind of thing. It's very like
Yeah.
cheesy,
Rocking
breezy.
and
I
rolling,
think
rocking
yeah,
really
rocking
hard.
and rolling. He just had a very like he just Fats Domino just had this charm to him that it's just like it's apparent in the song. Like it's so heavy their version, and I just think it's too slow. I just don't like it at all. I think it's the worst cover on there, not barring the Tallahassee Lassie part.
Yeah, I'll give it a yes. I'll give it a yes. Maybe I wouldn't have actually said it myself, but I will give it a yes because I do think it's a very kind of lame cover.
Yeah, it's not as bad as Louie Louie, but it's not good either. Like I
Yeah,
certainly wouldn't be like pointing to this as like, oh, this is a definitive Beach Boys cover because I just think it doesn't live up to
yeah,
the
yeah.
original, or not the original, but the most famous version. Yes, from you, Riley.
Yeah, that was the one I was gonna do, but I just changed it to.
Okay, so we are now at 24. So we can either decide to kick things off, or if we just want to say that's it.
What are the songs that you would say we were considering for like?
Does the intro? Are we counting the intro as a track? The
No.
NASCAR thing, or that's the interlude? Okay, then we have one more spot.
Oh.
If that doesn't count as an actual track, we have one more spot then.
All right, Jake.
Let's go with kind of an out there one. This is one that only the true fans are gonna know. Well, actually, there's two of those I could pick from. One is they're both collaborations with other artists, and I believe they were both done in the 80s.
Oh no, it was one of them for not the Four Seasons one. Don't do that one.
Okay, so I won't do the Four Seasons one. We're gonna do
I like the Four
Happy Endings featuring Little Richard. Um, so here's the thing. So this one, my main issue with it, honestly, isn't even necessarily the Beach Boys part. It's that Little Richard does not sound that great on it. He kind of sounds kind of gross, like his vocal. It's just not a great vocal. In terms of the song itself, it's just like a kind of generic 80s power ballad. Honestly, I wouldn't even say I hate the song musically. I think like it's fine for like an 80s style power ballad, but like it's just weird, man. Like it's just a really weird collaboration. And again, when you think like a Beach Boys collab with Little Richard, you think that could be a really great thing, but this just is not, it's just not an impressive track. And Little Richard's vocal is kind of weird. So I don't think it's the worst thing that they ever did. And like on this album, I don't think it's the worst track on here, but I do think that like, I think people would be totally fine with us nominating this. Cause from what I've seen, people do not care for this one. So
I will be honest. I've never heard it, so I can't.
I have.
So I will refrain from it because I've honestly never heard it. But I believe you because Little Richard was really good, like in the 50s. Then he got religious, and then it was just like it's true though. Like once he found God, it was like he lost all his edge.
Riley.
You know what, Jake? I'm gonna break your heart. I think Carl gives too good of a vocal for me to say yes.
Oh, okay. Listen,
think-
I don't hate it.
The keyboard sounds good. It's just
Yeah. Little Richard, he's like,
if it was strictly a Beach Boys song and say Mike sang it, yeah, I'd probably say yes. But
all right. So Riley, what are you picking then? Goes over to you now.
Something.
all right. It's technically transition, but we got to get representation from one of these things. Cassius Clay versus Sonny Wilson. If only for that little one line in there, it's like Mickey Mouse with a sore throat. I mean, I've always defended fucking what's it called?
Bull Sessions.
Bull Sessions.
I love purely for its placement because if it was in the middle of the album, I would have hated it. But this one, placement's terrible. I think it'd be funny if we just drop it dead center in one of the sides. So
It gets a yes from me. It's by far my least favorite of like those.
yeah, because you know what, I could see some humor in like the our favorite recording sessions, and obviously Bull Sessions I've defended before, at least for its placement.
Yeah, at least because Bull Sessions at the very end. So like even if you really hate it, you could just shut off the record.
And it's like a little epilogue to today. And we're for our favorite recording sessions as charm, as like quote unquote outtakes. This no defending. It was them doing a comedy skit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate any of the spoken word things. I just think they're pointless. I just think they're dumb. But I do think there's some charm in them. But yeah, if we have to pick one, I'll go with this one. Yeah. We just talked about it last week, of course, on the Shutdown episode.
We killed that. We beat that album to hell.
Yeah, we did. And, you know, there's a lot of lines in here, like the Mickey Mouse with the sore throat and like, it's just dumb. So yeah, I'm fine with it being on. Like you said, we do have to have some representation from one of these spoken word tracks. So yeah.
So we're counting that as an actual track,
Yeah, let's
not.
count if it's the full thing, we're gonna count it as a
It
track.
needs to be a track.
Okay,
It was a
so
track on
that's
the actual albums.
1, 2, yeah, that's 3, 4, 5. Yep, that's 24. So is there anything that you want to? Is there anything else on your guys'
Do we want to
list?
list some of ours that we haven't mentioned? And
Yeah, how about we do a quick honorable mentions if you guys have anything?
all right,
I'll be honest with you. I spitballed all this, so I don't have anything.
I could tell. I could tell. It's all the gears turning. You're like,
There's enough shit. There's like I don't need to write anything down. There's enough to just pull from.
All right, so some of the ones I wrote down that we didn't mention. Do you remember?
Yeah, that's not good.
I'm bugged at my old man. I know I didn't want to put it down though because I do know of the backstory. Mama Says I think is just kind of a boring track. It kind of doesn't go anywhere. I appreciate its part in terms of like vegetables and all that, but as terms of an actual album track, it just keeps speeding up. Transcendental Meditation, I feel like if the arrangement and production, like the general mixing wasn't so bad, it could have been something pretty cool, but it wasn't. TM song, another Transcendental Meditation. There is like half of it there's charm, but other half there isn't, and I feel like it's kind of a retread of the old, I guess like talking parts or the talking sections they had on some of their albums in the '60s. Jake, I'm sorry, but I had Solar System.
fuck that. Fuck that.
I think that Brian's voice is just too out there, and I feel like it's almost a little too extravagant for me in terms of like a concept. I do see the charm though, and it's definitely grown on me more than it used to be in terms of like how I used to feel about it. Peggy Sue, just a boring cover. Surfin' from 1992.
Oh,
already had plenty of Summer in Paradise representation.
Oh God, I forgot about that. Man, I want to get that on.
We can kick off. We can kick something off. We can kick off. We can kick off. I'm happy with kicking off. Here Comes the Night. If you want to put that
and
on.
Then I also had Beach Boys medley. From
oh God, that is so stupid. I have a CD. A CD of the Beach Boys rarities that has 3 medleys on it, not just 1, 3. Yeah. There's the single mix,
and the fact that it was a hit version of that. That's the sad part.
And then when they performed on American Bandstand with Brian lip syncing to,
I was gonna say like I wanted to do American Bandstand Beach Boys medley performance because that was dog shit.
That was terrible. No, and then there's a ballad medley on that CD too, so that's really good.
Any of those you guys would want to get on?
Only Surfing.
I'm cool with Surfing and Beach Boys medleys. That's pretty bad too, and that was a hit.
My thing with that is like, as stupid as it is, the fact that they're merging all these songs, they are great songs. They're just blending them stupidly. But like, I don't know. I kind of view it like, I don't know.
That's why I didn't mention it. I instead chose the other medley from Party because they are objectively good songs, just being spliced together. So what are we going to knock off for Surf in 1992?
So we were saying Here Comes the Night was in consideration. Honestly, I'm okay with knocking off Pom Pom Playgirl.
Yeah, knock off Pom Pom Playgirl.
Okay,
it's so much shut down volume 2.
Yeah, it's stupid, but not bad enough, I think.
Surfing 92. Yeah, I know their whole idea was like, what if the Beach Boys started in the year 1992? Well, I think they'd sound. I feel like they would sound more like, I don't know, Nirvana or something, in the sense that they were more like kind of proto-punk than like sounding like that. But sure.
Let's go surfing now.
All right, Matt. Anything else you can think of off the top of your head you just wanted to mention?
That's really bad. The Shift is just pretty forgettable.
Every episode.
It's just so. It's not really like, I don't think it's like the worst of the worst, but it's just very forgettable.
Yeah.
It's forgivable though, because it was off their first album.
Yeah, it's more forgivable.
It's bad, but and we dog on it, but I don't think it's truly the worst of the Beach Boys.
Trying to think what else I don't really like that much. I'm very glad none of you said Celebrate the News, because if we had said that, we would have had a problem.
No, it's not terrible. No,
but I know you're not a fan of it. I'm a big fan.
Yeah,
of it, so.
I'm kind of whatever on it, but
I'm very glad. If that had come up, I would have been very upset. I know Hey Little Tomboy for the lyrics, Roller Skating Child for the lyrics. That's mainly lyrics, though. I can deal with the rest of it. I actually think Let's Put Our Hearts Together, I think, has some pretty rough vocals on it. I don't think it's a terrible song.
I can't not make it. No,
I'm not saying it should be on there. I'm saying like some of the vocals on there are pretty rough, but I guess that's part of the charm.
That's why.
If you take the Beaks of Eagles by itself, I think it's good in the medley, but by itself, it's a little on the pretentious side for me. But I love
Look at Riley.
I'm not saying it should be on there. I'm just saying it's a little pretentious by itself, but it's objectively speaking good. Yeah. That stupid advertisement of Carl promoting Carl and the Passions, I think is really dumb. It's like, I have this beard, this new Beach Boys album. Like, that is just dumb. The Carl Wilson
changed more than you do.
The Beach Boys have changed more than you do. Yeah, that's just stupid. That Carl Wilson anti-drug commercial is pretty good too. Trying to think.
Not good, you mean bad.
Bad, yeah. No, I'm trying to think of like more of like the audio snippets. The one where like a lot of Mike Love's stuff from his book is pretty bad when he reads it out loud. I'm not gonna
the feet line.
As far as what else, we mentioned Beach Boys medley. I think that's pretty much it that I could think of, at least off the top of my head. I'm sure there's more that I can't think of right now, but like I said, there's a lot of good stuff mixed with a lot of bad stuff.
So in terms of my songs that I would potentially nominate from my list, Transcendental Meditation. Honestly, that one I don't think is as bad outside of the context of the album, but in the context of the album, it comes off as really jarring. Just because like it's just obnoxious. Like the album is such a peaceful album, Friends, and then you get this like blaring horns, and yeah. So I'm not a fan of that one, but not the first one I would nominate. Their cover of Rock and Roll Music I think is pretty lame. I think it had potential, but it just comes off as really weak, especially compared to like the Beatles cover of it. What else? TM song has some charm, but I do think it's not the best song. When Girls Get Together, I personally kind of like it, but I would not have a problem with it making it onto here. I see why people don't care for it. It kind of like just chugs along, like, when girls get together. Da, 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 da. Let's see. Most of these I honestly got on. East Meets West. I know, Riley, you didn't want me to nominate that one. I think for me,
for the Four Seasons, I like
a Beach Boys Four Seasons collab could have been something really cool. I think this is pretty lame, though.
Very disappointing, rather.
Yeah, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. That's pretty much this song. I included, in terms of an interlude, I included Mike's. You can find this on YouTube. It's Mike Love rants like an insane person about good vibrations, weed, and Bill Clinton. If you haven't heard that one, look that up. They're performing at some country festival in like Nashville, I think it is, and like it's after Carl had passed. I think it's like 2000, so it's Mike and Bruce, and Mike's just going on a tangent about weed and describing like good vibrations. Like, yeah, imagine a bunch of hippies going down the road in a Volkswagen van. It's pretty much exactly what you would imagine it to sound. So check that out. If there's
Where the fuck did Bill Clinton get into the mix?
Is that the one with Yasser Arafat that he like just brings that up all of a sudden?
Yeah, that might be it. Yeah.
I like the one where he brings up In Sync and he's like, we need to tie their legs together or their ankles together and make them sing instead of dancing on the stage in a sing off because he wants to do a sing off. I'm like, what the hell is he going on about?
Rock and Roll to the Rescue. It actually has some charm, but I don't think it's the best song. And the music video is something with Mike dancing behind the girls. That's quite the scene there. There's a obscure Mike recording called Can't Stop Talking About American Girls. And I'd have to ask Nate the details on this. But basically, if you look it up,
I already don't like it based on the title.
Somebody must have screwed with the vocal on this because Mike's vocal on this is so horribly out of tune with the track, you would not believe it. Like, we're talking like this isn't just like, oh, he's singing below. Like this is like the notes are not matching up with the song. Like, it literally sounds like somebody tried to sabotage the recording. So if any of our listeners haven't heard this, look it up. It's very odd. I just recently discovered it. But yeah, it's Can't Stop Talking About American Girls by Mike Love. That's about it. I also wrote down the Mike Love Arbor Day commercial, which is a radio thing he did, is very odd. It would have been a funny interlude, but yeah, that's about it for me.
I thought of one more for me.
There's a lot of songs I would consider nominating, but those are the ones that I wrote down that didn't quite make the cut.
There's another one I thought of, and I didn't say this out there because I know a lot of people do like it. Male Ego. I just cannot get past those lyrics. They are awful. I'm sorry, but they're just awful.
It's a bop though, man.
I like the melody, but I can't get past those lyrics. They're just so bad.
Dude, it's grown on me so much.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that,
it's
man.
A bop.
I'm sorry. I can't get past Tasty Ladies and all that stuff. I can't. I'm sorry.
We're doing it in our 80s.
No. Okay, anyway, so this track list, do you want to like put it in order?
Yeah, let's stick with this. We'll cut this out.
So, our track listing for the Dogshit album, we are opening up with the Salute NASCAR intro. Then we have 10 Little Indians, Louie Louie, Fun Fun Fun, the Steve Aoki remix, Cassius Love versus Sonny Wilson, I Get Around, Little Deuce Coupe medley from Party, Mike Love's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame speech, specifically highlighting the Mick Jagger is too chicken shit to get on the stage with the Beach Boys. Make It Good, the Look section, with a little surprise appearance from Tallahassee Lassie. Denny's Drums, our little 30-second interlude. Child of Winter, Blueberry Hill, Lazy Lizzie, Won't Somebody Dance With Me from Bruce's solo album Going Public. Bells of Paris, Good Vibrations, live in Australia, 1978. Here Comes the Night, the full 10-minute disco mix. Sunshine, Don't Worry Baby, live at the Queen Mary. Lady Liberty, Wipeout with the Fat Boys. Smart Girls from Brian Wilson's aborted 1991 Sweet Insanity album. Surfin' 92 from Summer in Paradise. Summer of Love. Forever with John Stamos. Little GTO from Salute NASCAR. This Too Shall Pass. Do It Again with John Stamos and Mark McGrath from Mike Love's solo album Unleash the Love. And Endless Harmony, the Bombs Bursting section. Well, that's pretty good.
Perfect form of an album, man.
I honestly feel like if we're trying to make a comprehensive album to represent the worst of the worst, I don't think we could have done much better than this. I think we've got most of our bases covered here. We've got some fun interludes that highlight some stupid, parts from songs and speeches. So yeah, I think it's great. And we will make a playlist for this that all of you can listen to we'll put it in the description. So be sure to check that out. So any closing thoughts from you guys on the Dogshit album?
I feel like some of the stuff, to be honest, isn't that bad. And then some of this is just like absolute crap. Like it's just the worst of the worst. Like it's just bad. But overall, yeah, this is not good. I would say overall this gets probably about a D.
Riley?
Man, the Beach Boys have some of my favorite songs of all time, but they definitely have some shit. That being said, I think that even though this is some of the worst things they've ever produced, you can still find some enjoyment out of these songs, even if it's the enjoyment you get out of like watching somebody like trip and fall. So,
Schadenfreude.
Right.
Riley, would you rather listen to this, Tortured Poets, or Sabrina Carpenter's new album?
You didn't even have to finish this. I get more enjoyment out of this, man. And the fact that we almost made up the entire episode without saying anything, and you were the person to mention them.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Well, Riley, she's a singer.
I'm going to end the meeting right now.
All right, we better wrap it up before Riley goes off the deep end. So thank you, everybody, for listening to this 36th episode of Good Timin. Hope you all enjoyed the show. I had a really fun time discussing some of the lowlights of the Beach Boys catalog with you guys, and I'm looking forward to doing some more album drafts in the future. So as always, if you like this podcast and want to hear more, feel free to subscribe or follow wherever you're listening. We greatly appreciate the support as it motivates us to make more episodes in the future. Also, as a reminder, the Good Timin podcast is available on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. So there's plenty of different places to listen and keep up with the show. So thank you again, everybody, for listening, and we'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.